As Burn has become more popular in GOAT format, so is Wombat, a card that stops all burn damage. But Wombat isn't as good against burn decks as you might think. Welcome to GOAT Duels, I'm Void, and today I'm going to explain the problems with relying on Wombat as a counter to burn. Wombat is only good versus one kind of deck. A deck that plays lots of burn cards, but one that also doesn't have very many ways to get rid of your Wombat. Unfortunately, this specific kind of deck is rarely seen today in competitive play. The most popular type of burn deck that you'll be seeing is Panda Burn. This deck not only focuses on the cards that deal burn damage, but it also has a sweet monster lineup that helps deal additional damage and helps get rid of problems such as Wombat. The problem is that Wombat is simply too vulnerable against the modern burn deck. It also doesn't even stop the new strategy that has been recently emerging, which is the use of chain energy. The problem here is that the damage that is being dealt by chain energy is a result of paying life points rather than being dealt burn damage, effectively making Wombat obsolete against this strategy. But even if burn decks don't run this card, Wombat is still vulnerable to other cards such as Ring of Destruction. For example, it can't stop Ring of Destruction because it gets rid of your Wombat before it can even get its effect. So it's an effective solution to the Wombat by not only getting rid of it, but also still dealing damage to you. Let's take a look at the recent burn deck by Big Llama 67 from the GOAT Format World Championship Top 16 list. Wombat can manage with most of the trap lineup along with Koala, but the list has tons of outs such as Cyberjar, Exiled Force, Injection Fairy Lily, the Pandas, if your opponent has at least one other monster in play with Wombat, and all of these except for Jar can be easily put out onto the field with triple giant rats. And despite being underwhelming, a couple of decks in the same top 16 list have up to 3 Wombats in their side decks. Another deck Wombat doesn't really combat very effectively is Library FTK. Even if you have Wombat on the field, your opponent can still bring back a Thunder Dragon with Premature Burial and crash into Wombat before they go into their combo play. Regardless, Wombat isn't nearly a terrible card. It still has a good effect and good stats, especially considering the fact that it's a level 3 so it doesn't get affected by the level limit Area B shenanigans. But without proper protection, it really is difficult to keep it on the field. Just like Kaiku for example. When it's being sided against Chaos decks, it's a card with good stats and a good effect, but it is vulnerable when flipped face down, and just in general by cards in Chaos decks that can easily get rid of it. So trying to keep a card like this on the field requires more thought into your back row lineup and figuring out ways to protect it. Otherwise, perhaps other side deck strategies like Mystic Walk for example could be explored. And of course, as burn decks evolve, so do their counters. Anyway, as a side note, I'd like to thank you guys for helping me reach and exceed 100 subscribers on my main channel. It's much appreciated. Thanks for watching.